First of all, let me say thanks to our Vice Chancellor Venkatesh Rao garu, Pro Vice Chancellor Ratna Prasad garu for giving this opportunity, and the thanks to the uh, R&D Dean and IQAC Coordinator Dr. Sunita for arranging this program so that I can give certain insights that related to the economic development. These are the, so what I am going to discuss or present that today, these are the most pressing issues across the globe and nation related to economic development, social development, pollution, climate change, and inequalities. So I am going to discuss with relevance to all these things at the present meeting. And here, so Madam is rightly said, it is a comprehensive kind of presentation. I am not going to in detail about a particular thing. So at this moment it is not possible to. Here, I think most of you know who are applying for the sponsoring projects. The most of the themes are related to the sustainable development. Mostly they are connected to, say, biotechnology and connected to the waste to energy or waste to the wealth and circular economy, connected to the green energy, connected to the green hydrogen. So these are the various different themes normally where we are getting the so many number of the projects. So that clearly indicates that the country, not only the country, the entire globe moving towards the sustainable development. So with reference to that, what is the role of the higher education institutions? What is the role of the universities in particular? I am going to give this kind of insights in the present gathering. And let me start without any delay. Already, actually, the scheduled time is 3:30. So I will take about 1 hour time for my presentation. And here, so let me start this one. So here, I think all of you know about the Stone Age, which we have studied in our childhood, right? I am not describing the Stone Age, but I am talking about the basic requirements at the time of the Stone Age. So at the time of the Stone Age, we don't have the comforts what we are having now, and the technology that's what we are not having now. But there are the basic requirements, that is the quality air, the quality water, and food, and soil. Whatever it may be, everything is natural and 100% pure. That is one side of the coin. And the other side of the coin is the technology and the comforts, that what we are enjoying now. What we are enjoying now. So, but missing the basic requirements, that means whatever the air we are breathing, that is impure. And the food we are consuming, they are chemically treated. The water we are drinking, that is highly impure. Do you think that the water is good quality of water we are consuming? So can you tell me, anybody can raise your hands that whatever the water I am consuming is the pure? No, it is not pure. Even though if you take the RO water is not suitable for drinking purpose. That so-called mineral water, we are calling that is so-called mineral water. The mineral water is not pure, not suitable for drinking purpose. Because certain minerals are required for the health of the people, for the metabolic activity of the human beings and all animals. That's what we are missing here. So this is the another side of the coin. So this age we are calling this as a modern age. So I use it to say to my students, we are living, of course, once upon a time, man lived in Stone Age, but today we are living in Garb Age. Missing the basic requirements. The basic requirements is not only important to human, every living organism who is living on the earth. That's what we are missing. So here, with reference to that, that is what is actually required. This figure that indicates. But here, the challenges what we are facing, just I want to touch upon that. So if you see this one, screen lo click cheyandi. Okay. Yes. See, what are the challenges we are facing here? So what these two figures are indicating, it's a pollution. And of course, this is the scenario, the first one is the scenario of our cities, including Delhi, the capital of India, not only the capital of India, the several cities in our country, not only in the country, across the world, this is the scenario as far as the pollution is concerned. And one important thing related to this is pollution is, see, if you speak about the different seasons, now we are at the winter season. In the winter season, just everywhere we are, hearing this kind of information, pollution and pollution and pollution, particularly in the case of the big cities. Is it not there in summer season? Is it not there in rainy season? Then why it is so alarming at the time of the winter season? What is the reason? That means the industries are not working in summer season. The industries are not working in rainy season. The vehicles are not moving on the roads in the summer season or in rainy season. Are they are moving only in winter season? Are the industries are working in winter season alone? No. Throughout the 365 days, the industries are running. They are emitting the pollutants. 365 days, the vehicles are moving on the roads. So all these two kinds of sources, they are contributing the pollution. But why they are alarming at this winter season? What is the reason for that? What is the reason? So when you are talking about the air pollutants, we should not talk the air pollutants alone. We have to mix up with meteorological parameters around them. That is more important. Because the reason behind it is, so in the winter season, what happens is, the atmosphere is stable to which you are emitting the pollutants. Stable means what? At the ground level, because of low temperature, the ground at low temperature, because of the temperature of the winter season, so therefore whatever the atmosphere which is in contact with the ground, that is at low temperature. And when it comes to the next layer means I am talking about the 100 meters high of each layer. If you take about the next layer, let us say 100 to 200, then the temperature is a little bit less. If we speak about 200 to 300, the temperature is further less. That means the temperature is increasing with one layer to the other layer with reference to the altitude, particularly in winter season. So because of that, if you consider the density of the atmosphere, the ground level density is very high compared to the next level. And it is high compared to the next level. So here it is something like what do you call it's a cone-like thing with a more base at the bottom that indicates the stability of the atmosphere. Stability, it's a calm, the atmosphere is calm, the atmosphere is stable. The constituents of the atmosphere will not mix up with each other. So at that condition, if you emit the pollutants, they are getting accumulated in the lower layer only. Therefore, what happens? They are gone accumulated and they reach to more than permissible levels. That leads to air pollution disasters. That is what is happening. But in the case of rainy season, summer season, it's not like that. At the ground level, the temperature is high when compared to the next level. So therefore, what happens coming to the density? The density in the ground layer is very less. The density is more compared to the ground level. The density is further more in the next layer. Because of high density in the upper layers of the atmosphere, the constituents of the atmosphere getting mixed up, and whatever the pollutants that are emitted to such atmosphere, they are mixed up, they are dispersed, they are diluted in the unending climate and atmosphere. So therefore they are diluted. They are diluted, the concentrations are reduced much below the permissible levels in summer season. Similarly, in rainy season, if you take the rainy season, we are very fortunate because it is, this kind enough, the nature is kind enough. Even in the case of rainy season, the pollutants are scrubbed out, they are washed out because of rains. So in this way, a clear environment is maintained by nature itself. This is the reason why the concentration of these pollutants are very high in winter season. And then if you take this one, so this what is showing? The plastics. So as per the Central Pollution Control Board, India is producing about 3.5 million metric tons per annum. 3.5 million metric per annum of plastic waste I am talking. But this is as per the statistical data as per the Central Pollution Control Board. Actually, as per this Central Pollution Control Board, we are at the phase of fifth level, which producing the country is producing this much quantity of the waste plastics. But there are certain countries they are blaming us. We are some countries they are saying you are at the first level or second level or third level, something like that. But according to our Central Pollution Control Board, we are at the fifth position to produce this waste, the plastic waste. So this is the scenario with reference to the plastic waste, and out of that, the 43% is packaging waste. 43% plastic waste. So plastic waste packaging means it is a single-use plastics. It is a single-use plastics. So we already kept the banners in our campus. Don't use, avoid the single-use plastics. So how many of you are following this one? Avoiding the single-use plastics. It is just confining to the wall posters and nothing more than that. So that is the scenario, of course, everywhere. And next it comes to this climate change. So the climate change here, particularly the temperature rise. What is the reason? The carbon dioxide, human activities, industrial activities that emits the huge amount of so many tons of carbon dioxide while burning the fossil fuels. Because of rise of temperature, all these things are happening. Because once 1 degree or 2 degree rise of temperature, the polar ice caps begin to melt and the sea level rises. Not only those things, the coastal area may be flooded. That's what we are experiencing in the coastal regions, cities of the coastal regions. And the dry areas becomes further dry. That leads to the droughts. These two are extreme conditions. Similarly, the forest fires. So these are all the different types of consequences due to the rise of temperature. This is mainly due to the emission of large amount of carbon dioxide. And next one is inequality. Serious inequality. So the inequality is very, very dangerous, particularly the economical aspect point of view, social aspect point of view. In future, it leads to so many challenges, so many problems. So I am here to address all these things, and at the same time, you can say, so what way I am belonging to CSC department or IT department or EC department, what way I am connected to these global issues? Yes, we are connected to the global issues as a general human being. But more than that, we are all highly intellectual, as the man said. So it is our responsibility to address these issues, to create the awareness among the common man. So with reference to that, it is mainly connected to this one. So here, so these are the issues. And here, to address this economical development, to address the social development and pollution and climate change and all these things, the United Nations established the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. 17 Sustainable Development Goals in 2015. Actually, the Industry 4 is emerged in 2010. So immediately, Industry 5 was emerged in 2020. The reason behind it is the sustainable development was not addressed in the Industry 4. So therefore, after proposing this the sustainable development goals, immediately the next level Industry 5 was emerged, where the lot of weightage was given in the sustainable development that I will show in the coming these things. So here, this is one thing. And the second thing is Vikasit Bharat. As far as our country is concerned, the Vikasit Bharat targets are there. The target is by 2047. We should become a developed country. Developed country means we need to enhance the economical development. We need to enhance the social development. We need to enhance the inclusivity. We need to address the sustainable industrial development. These things are very, very important to meet our requirement with reference to the Vikasit Bharat at 2047. And not only that, the Make in India targets are there. And Atmanirbhar Bharat, the targets are there. So to achieve this global as well as national level of targets, here the collaboration is very, very important because it involves the environment. Environment has no political boundaries. So suppose something is emitted here, it crosses the, political boundaries one country to the other country. So to resolve these problems, large scale problems, the cooperation among the countries is very much, and not only that, the local cooperation and societal cooperation with which only we can resolve these sustainability related issues. And then here, so just I want to convince you with reference to this industry, higher education point of view, what way the higher education is related to the sustainable development. So here, the first thing is here social transformation. So here, higher education institutions or universities are not just mere academic learning centers. Higher educational institutions, universities are not mere just academic learning centers. The first one is that, just I repeated 2 times, the first one is just to address the universities and higher educational institutions. The second one is the faculty, the staff who are working in such universities and higher educational institutions. That means you are the people need to play a vital role to fulfill and to achieve these targets, because the role of the higher education institutions in societal transformation is very crucial, because these are having the unique capability of shaping the mindsets of the decision makers, mindsets of innovators, mindsets of the future leaders. So therefore it is directly relevant. So that means the solving the sustainable challenges is directly related to the institutions. Not only that, these are the hubs of innovation and research. So they promote, the universities and higher education institutions promote innovation and research which can solve the sustainable challenges, to drive the entire nation, to drive the entire society towards sustainability. And not only that, these are the karkhanas of producing the skilled people, workforce. So I am talking as not just workforce for tomorrow. The workforce for today is something different. So what is the today's workforce? Yes, the workforce with skill set, workforce with skill set to meet the requirements of the present industrial scenario. But the future is not like that. It includes the sustainability component. So therefore, along with the skill set, we need to impart the knowledge related to sustainability. That means the people who are working in the industries, they should be capable of adopting the knowledge with reference to sustainable development. So that is very important in the future workforce. And the last one is inclusivity and equality. So just it is the moral obligation. Equality, inclusivity is the moral obligation of every educational institution. That could be higher education institution or lower level education institutions or universities. And now I am getting into this the sustainable development goals. There are 17, as I mentioned, there are 17 sustainable development goals are there, which were proposed in 2015 by United Nations. So that all the countries are supposed to follow all these sustainable development countries. And we may feel that it is the responsibility of the government. Yes, it is the responsibility of the government. But at the same time, without the involvement of the people, without the involvement of intellectual people, particularly from the higher education institutions, from universities, achieving these targets is very difficult. So keeping that point in view, they are very much relevant. All sustainable development goals are very much relevant to our institution. Even while preparing the document for the application of university in our institution, we kept very few sustainable development goals. At that time, we don't know this much depth of this information. So that's why we mentioned certain sustainable development goals, and we gave the surety that we follow these sustainable development goals once it is transformed, the college is transformed into the higher educational institution. We already promised in our report, which was submitted to the UGC. Yes, first one is the poverty elimination and zero hunger. So all these 17 sustainable development goals are interconnected. They are not separate, interdependent and interconnected goals. So if you speak about the poverty elimination and zero hunger, and as an institution, as a faculty, we can address these two sustainable development goals by two ways. One is through research, the other one is extension activities. Through extension activities and by research. So if you see these indicators, the below that I have given indicators, population living below the poverty line and access to the basic services under elimination, poverty elimination. And the next one is zero hunger, the prevalence of undernourishment and pregnant ladies and children below 5 with reference to the nutritional parameters and the agriculture, sustainable agricultural developments that comes under the research. We need to address these parameters. These are some of the broad parameters which were given under these two things. The one simple example I can give you how to address. Of course, it depends on the present scenario, present status of our institution. For example, if you take the mechanical engineering department, Siemens laboratory is there. Siemens laboratory, there are several laboratories are there. Still, giving laboratories are there. So about more than 10 laboratories are there. And here, by putting them in working conditions and appointing some people, trained people to work on these things, to train the surrounding people, not the people who are, of course, the students who are already attending certain things, who are on a regular admission basis. But very important thing is we need to address the people who are around, in and around the institution. That is more important, for which only the more weightage will be given by the certifying agencies. So here, if you give some certification courses, if you if you upgrade the skill to those the community, the surrounding community, so to enhance their living standards, we can eliminate, we can address this first one, that is elimination of poverty and zero hunger. We address these two parameters. Not only that, even in civil engineering department, there is one lab, that is Bosch lab. Bosch lab means several tools, construction tools are available in the Bosch lab. So using those tools, you can people can do several activities during construction. During construction, if you can provide the training program. So how to use these tools? By identifying the people who are in and around the institution, and they can acquaint with these tools by collaborating with some other institutions which finance or provide some subsidies. In this way, you can uplift these people with reference to their living standards to address these two goals. So like that, just I am giving one examples so that we can easily promote these sustainable development goals. So next one is good health and well-being. So here, don't feel that this goal we cannot address. Here, very important thing is collaboration. In the previous slide, I clearly mentioned that the most of these sustainable development goals we can achieve through collaboration. Our sister concern is there. The medical college is there. By collaborating with the medical college, we can resolve so many challenges related to the healthcare, and that is the extension point of view, and even research point of view. Yes, there are several areas are there in the medical point of view, healthcare sector point of view. The MEMS is the emerging area. MEMS, the mechanical electro micro systems. Mechanical electro micro systems. So lot of demand is there in this field by integrating VLSI technology. So a lot of work is going on. So actually in the EC department and a few months ago, one workshop has been conducted for 1 week with the support of AICT, inviting the different experts from different IITs across the country. So can you extend this kind of activities? Can you convert them into research? Can you contribute something with reference to MEMS? Because it is a very, very emerging area. Another sub area is targeted drug delivery. So to cure the cancer. These are all the responsibilities of engineers, not the EC engineer alone. Collaboration is required. Collaboration among the biochemistry is required. Collaboration among the EC department is required. Software related things are required. So collaborating the different experts, and we can achieve all these things. So these are some of the areas through which we can address. And the next one is the quality education. When I'm talking about the quality education, here the important thing is how many students we are educating, or how many programs we are adding year on year in an institution, maybe higher education institution and university. It is not the matter. The matter is what we promised. We promised to enhance GER, gross enrollment ratio. Gross enrollment ratio. How we can enhance the gross enrollment ratio? Of course, through regular admissions. For example, admission to BTech, admission to non-technical or non-engineering branches. That will happen. That will happen. But beyond that, can we educate the people who are around us? And maybe may not be through BTech, may not be through the MTech or PhD, but certificate courses in emerging areas, which provides some job or this kind of things for their survival. So, however, enhancing the gross enrollment ratio is the very important. That is the one of the reasons for the government, why the government is opened for new universities, to enhance the gross enrollment ratio. And here, if you take the society, there are three categories of people financially: high income group, middle income group, and low income group. So in the case of the high income group, the GER ratio for higher education is almost or very close to the 100%. When it comes to the low income group, it is around 5% or 10%. On an average, it is about 27% for the higher education. This is the present GER ratio. And the target is the 50. The GER ratio, we have to enhance that to the 50 by 2030. That is the target as far as the GER ratio. So if you speak about this one, what is the number of people in high income group? What is the number of people in low income group? Where you need to focus? Where you need to focus to enhance the gross enrollment ratio? We need to focus on low income group. How we can enhance? What is the reasons why they are not coming to the higher educations? The reason behind it is financial problems, other challenges, other related challenges. We need to address by providing certain scholarships. The scholarships need not be given, 100% scholarship need not be given by the management itself. We can identify the agencies which provide the finances. So some Northwest Foundation is there, and very good number of students, they are giving the scholarships. If you identify this number, the number of agencies who are giving the financial support, 3 or 4, definitely we can enhance that number. So the supporting the underprivileged, supporting the weaker sections to enhance the gross enrollment ratio by giving the quality education, that is very essential with reference to this one. So another important thing is we are at the beginning level, university at the beginning level. The strong policies are very important. Strong policy. So what is the policy with reference to the GER ratio related to the low income group? That we need to address clearly. Even that could be a 5% or 2 or 3% or 2%, even 1%. The implementation part is very important, which has a lot of weightage before the certifying agencies, quality certifying agencies. That's how we can address this fourth one. And then the gender equality. Gender equality. So gender equality means what? So ladies. So here women in leadership, women empowerment. It's nothing but women empowerment. So women empowerment, I several times I use it to confuse. So here in our institution, we are conducting women empowerment programs. Already you are at the position of, most of the faculty are doctorates. Are you not empowered? Most of the faculty are with MTech qualification. Are you not empowered? And so the students already in the line, they are going to complete their degree. Are they not empowered? Whom we have to empower? This is a common sense question. This is a common sense question. Okay, empowerment is required everywhere. For all ladies and women, empowerment is required. But here, underprivileged women, empowerment is required for those people. See, for example, if you take the DOCRA groups, development of the women, children in rural areas, that is nothing but DOCRA. So the Dwakra groups, the government is funding with very, minimal interest rates, but they don't know how to use that money. They don't know how to do that, how to utilize that to enhance their lifestyle. They don't know. But why can't you identify such groups of the people and provide some knowledge so that they can, initiate some businesses at their level or small scale industries. The groups will not individuals. Normally, this is the group activity. If you identify this kind of the people and give knowledge and give support even while doing this, businesses are at the initial stages by giving some support. So you can empower them. So empowering this kind of people, underprivileged people and weaker sections, particularly the women category, is the real empowerment. It's not the empowerment of which are already in a good position. It's not the empowerment. And the next one is, the clean water and sanitation. There are two things. So availability of clean water. Clean water means what? The water suitable for drinking purpose. Whatever the water that is suitable for the drinking purpose, the first thing is they must be free from the physical impurities. Some minerals are required for metabolic activity. Calcium is required, magnesium is required, TDS 500 is minimum. 500 total dissolved solids content is minimum. But the water, the so-called water you are drinking, that is called mineral water. Actually, the minerals are there. Its actual name is demineralized water. Whatever the water with the name of mineral water we are consuming every day, it is a demineralized water. So initially, people felt very difficult to speak as a demineralized water. So later on, that D is removed and left with mineralized water. So that is usually we are calling as a mineral water. It is actually all the minerals are removed from the water, and here we are made it into a distilled water. We are consuming the distilled water. That's why the several people, they are facing several kinds of the challenges as per their individual characteristics and food habits and so etc. and etc. And now the people are talking about the alkaline water. I think some of you are also talking about the alkaline water. What are the water available in the nature? That is at a pH range of, in general, 99% cases, 7 to 8.5. Is it not alkaline water? But why we are talking about the alkaline water? So because of RO treatment, reverse osmosis technique, that's whatever the treatment we are using for making the mineral water, where the pH value is reduced to 5.5 to 6. So we are making intentionally or knowingly or unknowingly, we are making this alkaline water into acidic water. But again, we are talking about the alkaline water. So this is the kind of the scenario. So why I'm talking all these things is several even educated people, they don't know what is the environment. What is the real kind of air? What is the air quality index? When you say it is very dangerous. So what to do? So once you know the very basic things with reference to the parameters related to the material, with reference to the parameters related to the air pollutants, then only we can contribute in this kind of sustainable development challenges. Don't think that I belong to CS department, I belong to IT, I belong to AI, I don't want the other things. No, it is totally, we are in the age of interdisciplinary. Interdisciplinary. We supposed to know all all domains at least at the basic level. Then only we can address the multidisciplinary related challenges. So because the sustainable related challenges are 99% multidisciplinary activities, multidisciplinary kinds of domains and problems. So that is why knowing the things related to all these things is very important for a effective researcher. That is very important. And the next one is, the seventh one is affordable and clean energy. Affordable and clean energy. So affordable means the cost, and clean energy means it is nothing but the green energy. And here, how we are getting the energy? One is through fossil fuels, that means the conventional energy sources. We are getting, so far we are getting. Now, even at this today's in our country, more than 55 to 60% we are getting out of the conventional energy sources. That means the coal, thermal power stations, and petrol, diesel. So out of which are gases, out of which we are getting the energy. And the remaining is the green energy resources. Maybe solar energy, wind energy, or geothermal energy, or so the energy from the wind. So this is contributed about the less than 35% as on today. But the target by 2030, so under Viksit Bharat, even not only the Viksit Bharat, under Sustainable Development Goals targets by 2030, so the India has to reach to the level of 500 gigawatts renewable energy. 500 gigawatts. On worst case, it has to reach the 50%. The conventional energy sources must be replaced with at least 50% of the renewable energy sources. So these are the targets. So what I am saying is, so lot of demand is there with reference to the green energy. Even recently, one central government minister, they spoke about the hydrogen energy, green hydrogen energy. So they want to bring into the practice within coming 3 years. Now they are producing about 5 million metric tons per annum of hydrogen gas for energy. So that is the present production of hydrogen green energy. So these people are working, the industry is working in this direction. So a lot of capex they are spending. That means a lot of investment the government is making with reference to these areas. So if you focus on these areas, we can have a lot of funds, but one important thing is the expertise is required with reference to these parameters. So without expertise, nobody will accept to enter into these fields. That is very important. And the next one is the decent work and economic growth. The decent and economic growth. So here in this case, how many number of young people they are with underemployment or unemployment? That we need to make a survey in and around the areas. So can you provide to these people? Can you provide some training? Can you provide some certification courses with concessions? That's more important, with concessions. So to meet the requirement, whatever the promises we have given to the government while getting the university status. So that is very important. So addressing this youth not employed, that is very important to uplift them with reference to this financial point of view or educational point of view. And the next one is industry, innovation and infrastructure. Industry, innovation and infrastructure. And here we have IISc cell is there. And we are collaborating with industry. We are making the MOUs with industry. For what purpose? For research we are collaborating. For internships we are collaborating. For jobs we are collaborating. That is one side of the coin. The other side of the coin, because of the changes, what is happening recently, what is happening with reference to that, because all these industries need to turn towards the sustainable practices. They are also working a lot of research activity in each and every industry to minimize their carbon footprints. The reducing of carbon emissions are very important. So of course it depends on industry to industry. One industry is not similar to the other industry. So we need to make a survey with reference to industry and what are the challenges they are facing with reference to the emissions of carbon dioxide and to reduce their carbon footprints. What kind of support we can extend from the institution point of view. So this kind of collaborations are very important. A lot of scope is there, a lot of stuff is there who are involving in this kind of activities. So that is another area with reference to the industries and innovation. And the next one is reduce inequalities. Reduced inequalities I will discuss later. Just already I mentioned with reference to the DOCRA. And the next one is the sustainable cities and communities. So in the beginning I mentioned several cities are suffering with pollutional problems. Several cities are suffering with sanitation challenges, water challenges, clean water challenges. So these are all the very basic requirements. Almost all in every city it is there. This kind of challenges are there. And the Amaravati, newly emerged state. So can you do something with reference to this? Even future planning to minimize, to mitigate in future the pollutional levels, the pollutional challenges. And can you provide a circular economy? Suppose waste is produced, how we can convert that into useful material? Plastics are there, how we can convert them into useful material? Can you design the product with longevity, and repairable? So forget about the disposable kind of products. we are not going for the disposable, because when you are talking about the circular economy, we should not talk about the disposable. So they should have the longevity. Can you replace this disposable materials, any kind of disposable materials, with the products which have longevity and repairable? And at the same time, whatever the waste that is produced, tomorrow it should become a resource. So that kind of technology the society is looking for under this. And of course, the pollutional challenges are there everywhere. And can you address these pollutional challenges in the cities? Wherever there is, and similarly, the slums, that is very important. There are people, several people, they are suffering in slums. Can you provide something? So can you make in a survey how many people are there? How many people are there in the slum areas of different cities? How we can address them? Can you provide some sanitation facilities? Can you provide them minimum basic resources? Can you advise them? Can you create some sort of a document with reference so that it can be submitted to the government? Government in turn will take the decision. So when you are involving in a particular activity, don't think that it is money related, that's why it is not mine. So you can create a policy, you can develop a policy based on the evidence, based on the data collected, we can submit to the government so that the government will take the necessary actions. And the next one is the responsible consumption and production. Responsible consumption and production means don't think that it is only confined to the food. It is confined to the water. It is confined to the energy, that is power, electricity. See, even our institutions, sometimes a lot of waste may be there with reference to the electricity. And can you provide? So it is not, I'm saying again, I'm saying that I'm stressing on technology, use technology to address this one. Not again gather the people and tell them you switch off the lights when you are leaving. That may not happen. Several times that may not happen. Can you provide, can you work out some technology? Can you work out some technology? When you are leaving out of this place, suddenly all these appliances, electrical appliances should switch off. So something like that. When you enter into that. So here sensor-based energy conservation systems, that is very important, which also comes under the consumption. And similarly, certain cases, even in our blocks, the continuous overflow of the water will take place. Can't you address this kind of things? So we are highly intellectual people. We are having PhDs and several more than 300 or 400 faculty members are there. Can't you address this kind of things? Only the focus that is also comes under this one. So once we initiate at this position in the campus, we can extend it to the surrounding societies under extension activities. So like that, it is, another thing is, if you take the RO treatment, reverse osmosis technique, the reject water, about 60% of reject water is, wasted. When you suppose, if you treat 10 liters, you will get only the 4 liters and 4.5 liters for drinking purpose. Remaining more than 50%, 5 liters or 6 liters, that gets wasted in the form of the reject water. Can you recirculate that? Because we are designing new buildings, can you adopt that technology? So washing the latrines, washing these urinals, can you use that water? Or can you use recirculate that water by mixing with the by diluting to the plantation and the greenery instead of directly disposing that? Can you make a practice of zero discharge? Zero discharge means whatever the water that is used, of course, that is converted into waste. We should not dispose it to the outside premises. Again, treat them and recycle them and use again for the secondary applications. That is circulating. We will always recycle and circulate the same amount of the water for different applications. That is zero discharge. And another thing is, so the 13th goal, climate action. Yes, climate action here, the carbon dioxide emissions. Carbon dioxide emissions, that's one thing. So the result is the rise of temperature. Because of the rise of temperature, there are several challenges are there. Actually, I have shown in the beginning slide. And drought, dry areas becomes drought, and the coastal areas becomes further flooded. So these extreme conditions will happen due to the emissions of the carbon dioxide, and not only that, the CFCs, emission of carbon, CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons. So when they reach to the ozone layer gets damaged, and the consequences are very severe because lethal ultraviolet rays that reaches to the people and the earth, that reaches to the earth, and it leads to the skin cancer and cataracts and whatnot, so many several challenges. Can you address this kind of challenges? So instead of using CFCs, can you replace the CFCs or halons with some other kind of material for cooling purpose, which will not cause any harm to the ozone layer? So like that, if you speak about the environment, if you speak about the sustainability, if you speak about the environmental protection, there are n number of challenges are there, n number of problems are there where we can work a lot in terms of research activities. And the next one is life, life below the water. Life below the water. Here, life below the water means, okay, seas and oceans, that is one thing. And more than that, so rivers and streams, because these are the sources of water for several cities, for several locations for the population, in addition to the groundwater. But as per the one of the statistics in India, about 80% of water bodies are contaminated, they are unfit for any kind of use. That is the present scenario. Okay, so therefore, can you work on it? So to minimize these pollutional problems. And even in Telangana area, to clean the Moosi river, they are spending a lot of money. It is a big challenge. It is a very big challenge. Can we address this kind of challenges with our technology? So like that, the numerous number of fields are there in environmental science or environment or sustainability related activities. And not only that is the sustainable fishing levels. And here we are having now the photographs from the satellites. Using those satellites, can you identify these places and reduce the marine pollution and saltwater intrusion? This is another big challenge. Saltwater intrusion is another big challenge because we are having very large length of the coast area. The exploitation of the water in along the coast. What is happening? The fresh water being replaced by the sea water in the coastal regions. The sea water is not suitable for drinking, but the sea water is highly dense compared to the fresh water. Once it is replaced, the fresh water is replaced with the sea water, it is very difficult to get it back. So that is another big challenge along the coast. That is what is happening. And these are this kind of several issues are there under this SDG goal. And then life on land. Life on land. Animal range shift. Animal range shift means animals are coming beyond their boundaries. What is the reason? What is the reason? So maybe several factors are there. Deforestation may be there. Deforestation. Because of climatic actions, several grasslands are being converted into barren lands and not getting the food for them. So because of over exploitation of water or human activities, these are all the regions. Can you address with reference to these things? So this is comes under life on land. And then the next one is, so here peace, justice and strong institutions. So under this, the fight against the corruption and fight against bribery. And similarly, fight against the crime and illicit financial flows. So by developing certain apps, can you address certain indicators under this 16th goal? And the last one is partnership. I already mentioned, to address all these goals, the global partnership is very essential. Global partnership is very essential. So with which only we can, even certain cases, because what I said in the beginning, it is environmental related issues. Environmental related issues must be, get the solution only when there is a collaboration. It is not possible by a single branch of engineering or a single institution. Collaboration across the department, collaboration across the organizations, collaboration across the countries, it is very much essential to meet the final targets. So these are all the 17 sustainable goals. And if you look into all these 17 sustainable goals, I felt that we can address as an institution, as a higher education institution or university, we can address almost all the goals, directly or indirectly. And of course, all the goals are interconnected, all the goals are important, but for your purpose, just I taken out certain the directly related sustainable development goals to the higher education institutions. This is the quality education already I mentioned here. So covering the GER ratio and the gender equality, and then next one is the decent work and the economic growth, because ours are the institutions are carkhanas to produce the human workforce. And then the next thing is industry innovation and infrastructure, the collaboration with industries to resolve their challenges, to work under the research and innovation, and even startups. So several people, they are starting the startups on the sustainability related. For example, the waste to energy. It is a burning area. It is an emerging area. Waste to wealth is an emerging area. Circulatory economic technologies, it is another emerging area. Biotechnology, it is another emerging area. So why biotechnology? So the people are stressing to use the natural resources. So for example, fermentation. By fermentation, we can do several things. There is involvement of biomass. Similarly, using the bacteria, you can do several things. So biotechnology is in leading position, advanced biotechnology in leading position at the present scenario. And one more 4 items are there. Reduce inequalities by providing certain best practices in the institution level itself. Not only the employment, in the institution point of view, we can minimize the inequalities among the people. And the next thing is sustainable cities and communities, sustainable cities and addressing the slums, addressing the global issues, pollutional issues, and whatnot, even sanitation. There are several challenges are there as far as the institution, cities are concerned, and the climate action, that's already mentioned. And the next one is a partnership for the goals. So all these 8 goals are very much related to the higher education and universities. Now, coming to this one, how to addressing the SDG goals with the higher education. One is the curriculum. What way we can address? Because whatever the thing, that means the teaching, learning, or research or innovation, we have to start from the scratch. That means from the root level. When you are talking about the SDG goals, it must be incorporated. How it must be incorporated? In terms of the case studies, you can incorporate. In terms of the related themes, we can incorporate. You can incorporate certain, sustainability principles, not only engineering. In non-engineering, science, chemistry, everywhere we can incorporate the relevant principles we can incorporate. So here, the very important thing is, it must be done, the design of the curriculum must be done by a team of the experts, not 1 or 2 people. Because the entire remaining stretch is based on this curriculum only. The people who are having the broad ideas with reference to these goals, sustainable development goals, Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Vikasit Bharat, these are the emerging trends in the coming decades. So therefore, we need to address all these things. We must start from the root level, that is none other than the curriculum development. In this way, we can address all these things. For example, I have given sustainable business management. So something like that, even the courses point of view, programs point of view, you can incorporate it at the curriculum level. And experience learning. Yes, experience learning related to sustainability, related to sustainable development goals. We are talking about the internship. We are talking about these training programs for experience learning. In addition to that, include or supplement with sustainable development goals and sustainability. And the next one is interdisciplinary collaboration and research. So here, interdisciplinary means, as I mentioned, it's one branch cannot do anything and one person cannot do anything, because it is a collaborated effort. It is interdisciplinary effort. For example, if you take the green energy and hydrogen energy and the waste to energy, all these things are required, the experts from the different areas to get the solutions. This kind of activities are very much important to address these goals. And community engagement, already I mentioned. And the last one is the student clubs. Yes, we have a student clubs. Different kinds of academic student clubs are there, and enjoyment student clubs are there. In addition to that, there must be a student clubs which addresses sustainable development goals, which addresses the sustainability in different directions. These are very much important to address the sustainability and sustainable development goals in higher education. Now, how to foster this green campus operations and practices? So here, the several students that are studying every year, more than 6,000 students are studying here. We should become, our practices should become a role model. When they go out of the institution, they have to understand, they have to think, they have to discuss about the sustainable development goals, sustainable practices, what we are adopting in our institution, so that they can implement in their locations. That is very much important. So if you see this waste management, how we are doing this waste management. So that is very important. So if you take the plastics, how we are recycling the plastics. So if we have certain mechanisms in our institution, definitely the students, once they go out of the institution, definitely they will adopt this kind of technologies. So referring our institution, and that is one thing. And another important thing is we are going to construct several buildings. One big building is coming up on the backside of our building, very big building. So can you adopt this kind of things, the waste management related, and not only the waste management related, and energy efficiency related, and the next level is the water conservation related. Water conservation means even recycling, not judicious use of water, even recycling of water comes under the water conservation. Sustainable mobility. So here cycles without motor vehicles, cycles. Can you adopt the cycles in certain locations? I will give you at the end several institutions, top level institutions, through extension activities. They are doing this kind of activities. They are available even the general websites. That information, some of that information I am going to give, so that we can also practice that kind of extension activities. So here if you see all these things, sustainability, mobility, that is the last point. What we are doing in the case of the VR Siddhartha Engineering College with reference to sustainable mobility. So we have adopted one sustainability issue, that is nothing but no vehicle day. No vehicle day. So what is that no vehicle day? What we are doing? So when there is a no vehicle day, what we are doing? Some people are coming at 7 o'clock and they are putting their vehicle here. Some people just in and around, because my house is very nearer to this one. Several vehicles, hundreds of vehicles on our streets. What they are doing? And see, even suppose if it's a battery vehicle, what is the source of your energy? Is it from the thermal power station? Or is it for, solar energy? So here, what happens is, the nature, the environment never question anybody. That is a big problem. That is a big problem. And another thing is, we will feel that it is not my job. It is not my job. Of course, we are living. We want the basic requirement. We want good quality of air. We want good quality of water. But at the end of the day, it is not main. So that is the kind of the nature. Of course, all of you are having that kind of nature. But when you are talking about the environment, environmental protection, the integrity is very important in the people. The reliability is very important in the people. So what I am doing, really what I am doing, it is not somebody is observing. It is not for the purpose of either NAC or NBA or some other certifying agencies. So when you are talking about the environment, do it sincerely. It is somebody asked, don't do the things because generally it is somebody asked this one, either NBA and NAC. So in this way, if you direct sincerely, definitely we can get the solutions. Otherwise, getting solutions to a country like India is very difficult, very difficult. And then fostering the sustainable campus operations I am talking. So just I have already mentioned the green buildings. Green buildings, LEED certification is there. Leadership for environmental energy design. LEED means leadership for environment energy design certification. So they alter the plan so that we can utilize the natural resources instead of the artificial resources. We can minimize the usage of the AC if you follow those guidelines, if you follow the directions of this LEED certification. And similarly, we can minimize the lighting. So this artificial energy we can reduce to the large extent if you follow. Another one is there, IGBC, Indian Green Building Council. Indian Green Building Council. So if you follow that certification, again we can minimize the maintenance cost with reference to the energy, either for cooling or lighting and air circulation with reference to all these things. So another important is actually no much number of these certified buildings are there in the Andhra Pradesh so far. If we have that kind of building, tomorrow it becomes an icon to the Siddhartha University. The several people will come here and check and see this one to follow in their premises. So in this way, we can get recognition. The university can get recognition. Even website, the people look for this kind of things. So that kind of recognition will get it by this kind of icons. And the next one is here environmental research. Environmental research. So whatever you spoke so far, all these are connected to environmental research. Of course, we are doing some research in different aspects, but environmental research groups must be provided in the every department of our institution. And then inclusive practices, equality. So for equality means economic point of view and other aspects point of view, there are several differences are there. How we can address with reference to that? That means providing some financial support and the scholarships, this kind of things. By providing that, we can address by the institution to some extent. And the next one, of course, it is the partnership with the industry. And just I want to show the difference because the industry 5, what we have to follow. But several people, they know about the industry 4. Then what if you understand what is the industry 4 and industry 5, you can understand. So see the concept, the core concept of industry 4, digital transformation and technological centric. So that means automation is the major component. And coming to this industry 5, the human centered innovation and value driven. Value driven means satisfaction of the customer and impact on the society and impact on the environment. That is what is called value driven. So that means the impact on the society, the impact of the impact on the environment will be taken into consideration when you are producing something under industry 5, but that is not there in the industry 4. But what are the tools of industry 4? IoT, AI, big data, analytics, cloud computing, advanced robotics. And man involvement is very, very less. Everything, maybe 90% things may be automated in the industry 4. But when it comes to the industry 5, human robot contributions, that is collaboration, that is called cobots. So that means the robots will work under the guidance, under the directions of the human beings, not robots alone. That is what is happening in the case of industry 4. And the next one is a lot of weightage has been given for the sustainable energy integration, the green energy, green hydrogen, okay, wind energy. So for this kind of energy integrations are there, more priority is there in the case of the industry 5. And what about the goals? Goals, if you consider the goals, industry 4, and efficiency, productivity, and optimization of the process. That is the major goal. Autonomous design and making systems, automatically they will do without the involvement, and reduction of human intervention. The reduction of human intervention, mostly it is automated. See this one. So it is reintegrated of human creativity and decision making, and fostering sustainability and social well-being. So that is the basic difference. So here in each and every level, lot of weightage has been given for sustainable development as far as goals are concerned. And the next thing is the role of humans. It is the role of humans is almost all negligible. It's a very, very minimum in the case of industry 4. But whereas when it comes to this this industry 5, the humans are human centric and working along with the machines, that is cobots in the case of the industry 5. And coming to the sustainability, lot of weightage has been given in the case of industry 5. Almost all no weightage has been given in the case of industry 4. So actually the industry 4 was established in 2010. And the sustainable goals was established in 2015. After sustainable development goals, immediately they realized, the United Nations realized, and it is introduced in Industry 5, which includes, giving more weightage in the case of sustainable development. So next one. So this is the nutshell. This is the summary of the Industry 5, the eco. So eco-friendly production and closed loop recycling. Closed loop recycling means what I said with reference to the used water. I said don't discharge. Zero discharge concept is a closed loop example, closed loop system. So similarly, what are the waste that is generated? For example, thermal power stations are there. The fly ash is the colossal amount of waste being generated during the power generation. So once upon a time, it is a big challenge for the thermal power stations to dispose. But today, that same material being used for manufacturing the cement, several building materials. That is nothing but the closed loop. And similarly, if you take the bagasse is the waste material produced out of the sugar industry. You can make paper, high quality paper you can produce. In olden days, that is used to burn. So emitting so much of pollution. So this is nothing but the closed loop recycling. We need to focus the closed loop recycling and responsible sourcing. Responsible sourcing. That means so exploitation of, for example, the sand, exploitation of sand beyond the limits. That is not good with reference to the environment. So something like that we have to do, and all these things will be addressed in the Industry 5, and I am not touching this one. And these are the various policies provided by the government to support the industry, where you can also incorporate to give certain decisions or certain things in collaboration with the industry based on these schemes. And now fostering community engagement. Now we are coming to the end. So here the engagement, the industry is over. Now how to engage under extension activities. So one is addressing local challenges. So for example, water purification systems and sustainable agriculture. It is not just distributing the blankets. It is not distributing some fruits. It is not just distributing some food items that everybody can do. Even individuals also can do. What you can do at your level, it is a technical organization. Can you do something different? Because the individual cannot do all these things. For example, water purification and rainwater harvesting, this kind of things they may not do. You have to do that. We have to do that. Being a technical people, we need to address this kind of things. And sustainable agriculture, we can do that. And similarly, the coding and robotic campus. Because the CSC and IT and AI people are expert in this field. So invite who are having identified and invite those people who are having the interest in this fields, and provide the literacy in this direction, coding and robotics and all, and the building awareness and community health, and that's in sanitation projects and health apps. So this kind of support you can provide. And the next thing is promoting sustainability and fostering innovation and entrepreneurship, that is agro-tech solutions. Agrotech solutions, small scale solutions. Already given one simple example, Dokra people, just provide some support to them with reference to our technology. And of course, the collaboration is very important to achieve all these things. And next thing is community engagement. So far, several times we remind our MSS team to do this kind of activities. So that's why for their purpose, separately I put it, collecting the data who are done by different activities, national level institutions, they did certain things. So see one by one, renewable energy solutions. Here the students of IIT Bombay, designed, installed the solar microgrids in rural Maharashtra, providing electricity to off-grid villages, and reducing dependence on kerosene lamps. So one is off-grid, and the second thing is, what is the solution they have taken? The solar microgrids. They designed the solar microgrids, and where off-grid locations to replace the traditional lamps, kerosene lamps. They are supported in this way. And the second thing is, engineering students in Tamil Nadu developed small wind turbines for rural communities. Small wind turbines they develop to support the rural communities. So this kind of stuff we need to provide, being a technical education. It is not distributing just the blankets and all. That's what I'm saying. And the next one is the sustainable water management. Engineering students of Rajasthan IIT Jodhpur developed clay-based water filters for rural areas using local material. And a student initiative in Kerala installed a rainwater harvesting system in most of the schools. It is just a student initiation. So here, another thing is the water management and circular economy. The students of Anna University developed biogas plants for households, converting kitchen waste into energy. And the engineering students of Delhi partnered with NGOs to build machines that recycle plastic into construction materials. And next, sustainable construction practices. Students of IIT Roorkee, they designed homes using bamboo and recycled material for flood-affected communities. And then the engineering students collaborated with the architects in Bangalore to design the solar-powered school buildings. So this is the kind of activities or extension activities we need to provide being a technical institution. Environmental conservation, engineering students in Madhya Pradesh use drones for plantation in degraded forest areas. And then students in Kerala developed water purification systems to restore polluted wetlands. And the sustainable transportation. The students of NIT Trichy developed affordable electric tricycles for last mile connectivity in urban areas. And then engineering students of Pune created automated bicycle sharing programs for colleges and nearby communities. So these are some of education for sustainability. Students of IIT Madras conducted workshops on renewable energy and waste management for school children, inspiring the sustainable habits and sustainable development goals. Engineering students Punjab taught farmers to use IoT devices for efficient irrigation and reducing water and energy waste. So these are the different kinds of supports through extension activities that what we need to do. So I took several time to collect this data, and at the same time I got the opportunity to enter into suppose for example Jodhpur. So previously I don't know. So something like that, if you do something innovative, it must be published not in and around Telugu papers. That is very important. It must be published across the nation. Through some innovative kind of extension activities, through certain kind of the research activities, then definitely when you Google, definitely the Siddhartha University will generally present, and we will get branding, and where we'll get the marks under NRF ranking under perception. There are multiple ways of advantages are there with this kind of things. And of course, the last one is the inclusivity and equitable. What is the next one? Education, right? Education. So here, yes, education. Okay, leave it. Yes. So here, increased access and affordability. The beginning, we need to address the underprivileged low-income groups by an university. That is very essential. That is the point. And SC, ST, BC, and so on, economically background people, and multilingual and inclusive learning. So different languages, providing at least from identifying some people and giving support to them. And next level is support for socio-economically disadvantaged groups, remedial classes, bridge classes for them, targeted outreach programs to encourage the enrollment in undergraduates or postgraduates and all, particularly in the tribal groups, and equity in admission, inclusive admission policies and admission quotas and reserved seats for the underprivileged groups and underrepresented groups. And last one is curriculum and pedagogy for inclusivity. This is particularly for multiple exits and multiple entry options. So flexibility with reference to the student point of view. That's what is required under inclusive and equitable education. And of course, this is the reporting of SDG goals and collecting the data and monitoring the data and putting certain benchmark and looking for continuous improvement. It is the reporting. And the next one is the key takeaways. So again, I'm telling that, so when you're talking about the environment, don't see that because somebody is asked, that is why I'm doing. No. So because we are living in the environment, so that means without air, we cannot survive. Without water, we cannot survive. Without food, without greenery, we cannot survive. It is our primary requirement to protect the environment. You always think in this direction and try to protect at your level, at individual level, and try to create awareness among the people, whatever the information you know, try to create the awareness. That is very much important. And more than that, the contribution to Vikasit Bharat, contribution to SDG goals is a unique opportunity for both the higher educational institutions, and not only that, the faculty and students showcase their strength and gain recognition at national and international platforms and fulfill their SDG goals. So this is what I want to present. It is a comprehensive thing, and wherever you want to take, you can take the information and use in your routine practices, adopt in your routine practices. Ultimately, my intention is I want to, include something different, which in future that is going to happen. That's going to happen in most of the higher education institutions and university. And just as I said in the beginning, these higher education institutions and universities are no more mere academic learning centers. So with reference to that, we need to change our mindset. We should not confine to only teaching learning process. We need to do something different, something beyond, that is related to innovation and research. Again, connected to the innovation research, more focus on the sustainability, more focus on the protection of the environment, because that is the era in coming days. That is the era in coming days. So if you practice, put it in practice, taking all these inputs from now onwards, we are in a head. Otherwise, we may not be recognized. We are lagging compared to the other institutions, other faculty members. And this is the information I want to provide for all of you, particularly the PhD holders. Thank you very much for your patience learning. Thank you, Ananda.